Good morning. It is a beautiful morning. And do I have another banger for us today? I think it's really, truly, critically important to really levitate that character up to a whole new level, above, so far above the crowds, the herds, and there's such an empowering thing from that in every little way, such as, because I'm a winner and I just want to see everybody win. When my boy lands in Atlanta and it's his lifelong dream to get to the United States, and he's there right now, I'm full of joy, man. Like, for real, I'm reveling in his success. It's like my success because I'm a genuine dude. Because me and this motherfucker are brothers. We have a much more tighter bonded relationship because we have both risen to these higher places of valiance. That's what it is. And then come together up there on that plane somewhere, right? And then there's so many others we know that are out here, and we just can't wait to stay in this plane and see everything that comes out from this. And most people who achieve this plane, you'll notice, they also stay at this plane and they're always trying to talk to a lot of people that may or may not listen to them, fortunately or unfortunately, but they're definitely telling their friends about the cool new PlayStation game, right? That really changes your life for real. That's just the truly most real thing to do, especially right now. And that's just the start of the list of benefits, all right, that come with doing this. And I mean, so like all the small jealous-minded people, they miss out on that joy. They never experience that joy. Entire lifetimes go by not experiencing. There's a point that you reach if you stay honest long enough. This is what I want to tell you about. On another channel, I tell people if you stay in nature long enough, right? On this channel, I'm telling you, if you stay honest long enough, which is the same thing, what I just said, those two things are the same thing. Because your highest nature is completely honest. So let's just get there. So where you completely want to see people win, not perform, win deeply and divinely, right? Not perform, win deeply and divinely. After years of living this way, I've realized something surprising. I just support my friends' victories. I feel them. Their wins give me real joy, endorphins, energy, a sense that life is working the way it's supposed to. And that's because I'm aligned and oriented the way I'm supposed to be. See that? And that's why it's also sad to me that such a large portion of the population lives trapped in this television thinking, in this herd thinking, in this, as far as I can tell, highly programmed, uniformed thinking, to the point where if anyone speaks outside of the uniform, of the programming, all the robots are supposed to attack that person, and they do. And they do, right? You are not supposed to think outside the box in 2026. And if you do, why are you causing problems, you racist, conspiracy, whatever. All this shit that didn't even exist. Doesn't even exist, excuse me. Especially after witnessing over a lifetime what some governments do to their constituents and what some people do to their children and what some brothers do to their brothers and sisters do to their, right? Out of fear, control, insecurity, or unresolved personal failure, you start to see the cost clearly. Many of them have no idea what they've opted out of. Simply by being fake is what it is. The faker you are, the faker your experience is. You know, the lesser quality that you are, the lesser quality that your experience is. So those of you who are just financially, spiritually, physically sliming all over the next worm in the can, all the other worms in the can, change your environment, change your life, change your modality, change your life from the inside out. That inner muscle is the really one, right? And plenty of people, especially the needle jockeys, have some candy muscle, but none of that inside stuff. That's very unfortunate. And they have chemicals, not just in their muscles, but in their brain. And we see them go on unfortunate spiral, unfortunate outplay, play. There is a whole world of fulfillment, vitality, and meaning that only opens when you want others to rise, when you want nature to rise, when you're like, enough of the bullshit. Let's get behind life and freedom. Let's get behind life and freedom and do that in a truly honest, valiant, real, applied, action-heavy way. Right? And what doors is that going to open? You know, what doors is that going to open? So I want to talk about mental self-training in Valiance. What we're going to do is realize that we're going to at least think of ourselves in modern terms so it's easier to understand as software programs inside of a operating system. Now, as software programs with independent will, we can sort of write new software programs within our package, right? And what I want us to do right now is write a new real-time self-checker. Was that true? Was that true? Was that true? Was that true? That's it. Everything that's coming out of you, it's got to be true. Everything that's coming into you, it's got to be true. Otherwise, you've got a polluted code bank, database, polluted. There's malware, there's virus, there's bad code, right? And you're just going to have consistent problems. All you've got to do to get to these higher levels I'm talking about and wring these problems out of your life is this software program we're developing right now. Is this true coming in? Is this true going out? Is this true? If I can't verify it, then I have to put it in the unverified category. I can't act on it. I definitely cannot have emotions attached to it, right? Listen, out here on the farm, lives depend on me. Plant lives, animal lives, insect and fungal lives. They can be enhanced by me in a free or a controlled way, in a chemical way, right? Down the line of any of these chemical controlled ways, down the line, it becomes very clear that this was a bad action by its fruits. The fruits are bad. There's cancer way down here. There's ill performance way down here, right? If we pay deep attention to nature to understand everything better, if we study the great so that we can see farther, that was an Einstein quote right there, we'll see that all these wild animals are eating 100, omnivorous or vegetarian, vegetable eating. Silverback gorilla is pure leaf, but over 100 species for sure, right? This diversity of living food, all this wild best meat, it's eating living food. Even the not best meat, domesticated, whatever. Down here, at least, it's eating living food. There's some seriously torturous, hose chain, fucked over systems up in the States. But none of that is necessary. And it's all in that innovative direction that has downstream problems everywhere. And and you're not going to know what they are. For example, we're knowing now that modern agriculture, monoculture, is really not the best way to do this. And the chemicals we're using are causing hormonal changes and cancers and all this stuff, right? Well, one thing, have you never talked about the amount of inefficiency these crops have in water usage? That diverse, correct, natural crop systems would use way less and manage way better all the water, and that water would not leave completely contaminated, right? You haven't heard that. You haven't heard that talked about, that these monoculture systems, while efficient in one way, are extremely inefficient in other ways. Also in electric power, also in now fuel power, right? For all these. So we can do this a lot better all the way to the community level. And I have a small pamphlet on that. I'll put the link below. It's an abstract, and hopefully there's other people working on the next revision with me. Maybe that's you. I don't know. But I'm using all of this as an example to activate your creative side, right? Detach from the herd. Become a clear signal in a noisy world of contamination, confusion, convolution, and most of it's on purpose. As long as we can keep you confused and away from the truth, then we can maintain this control, right? And this is from spousal, family, kid to parent, all the way to presidential level. Right? And the only answer is to become more conscious ourselves and help those around us become more conscious, right? That is the valiant thing of our time. We're not taking to the battlefield with broadsword. We're not lining up in straight lines and shooting each other down with, we can do some stupid, we've done some stupid, we've had some stupid ways of doing things. Nobody talks about the permaculture study that shows 10 times the current 10 billion people can live on this planet just fine, as long as we did it in a sustainable form, not creating trash islands and whatnot. Okay, so I want to talk about something that almost no one trains for, but everything in your life depends on: authenticity. And it takes work. It takes this real-time inventory program to be running over some real time, a long distance of time. And then you're like, yeah, I just did 2 years, not telling a lie, getting up early, working super hard, and the results are there too. And now I'm stepping into the next chapter from this chapter, right? These really James Bond guys you see just cutting through life like nobody. They evolved into that, and you're also looking at the embodiment of some serious momentum that hasn't stopped for a minute. It's so much momentum that there's really no stop. There's only a slow. Now remember, what's after slow? Stop. So if you ever get slowed, the idea is get back up to speed and stay there. So not the aesthetic version, everybody's got a great fashion statement for the day. But trained authenticity, precision authenticity, a level of authenticity that strikes people like, whoa, I don't even believe that this guy could be this authentic. It doesn't make sense in this fake world, right? And you will be hated. And that's great. And the line will draw itself. And that's also another benefit to this. Slime balls They're like, ah, shit, this guy's going to call me out. I better stay away from him. All right. Most people don't realize, but they are constantly leaking contamination in what they say, and what they consume, and what they tolerate, and what they silently agree with. What they consume, what they tolerate, what they silently agree with, and then what they say. Are you a repeater robot? Are you a product of your environment? Can you rise above both of those and many more things and shape your own sculpture and adventure and journey, at least for a time, you know? And then now that you're this actual team member at the round table, who knows, because you put yourself through the training, how to be respectful, who's who, because you took the time to figure that out. Truth is earned, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to get the good adventure easy. You know what I mean? In fact, you better build some matrix speed, because getting opportunities now is like catching bullets. You got to be at the right time in the right place, and you got to have the right style, reflex, and James Bond or James Bondetness to make that all go down. It is no game. It is not a play. It is not a play. Authenticity will get you where you need to go. I'm telling you, that's 1,000% for sure. It's not a personality. It's a practice. It's something that you are. It's something you maintain, just like hygiene, fitness, just like weapons safety. If you don't train it daily, it degrades. That's why I encourage this constant inventory. Why did I say that? Why did I say observe yourself? Why did I say that? Was it true? Was it convenient? Was it necessary? Was it helpful? Was it with pure, authentic intent? Was it stupid naysaying? Start really get that grinding stone some teeth, some coarseness, right? And really bring out that finest samurai edge. Purify what comes out of you. Every word you speak trains your nervous system. If you exaggerate, posture, people please, lie by omission, this is a tightrope walk, man. Or speak from resentment, you're not just misleading others, you're corrupting your own internal compass. This year, 2026 for me, you'll see it in my last, is I'm purifying. I no longer care about what does not serve me and make me more powerful. As my girl says in my Stoic ex-love tribe, 2026 is all about me. You know, I've never been the type of person to say, people will tell you could, I might let it go with me, but if you say something bad to one of my friends or about one of my friends, even if they're not there, it's on. I've always been real loyal, real what I thought Valiance should be, because I had a piece of shit of a mother, right? So I'm looking at that and I'm like, whatever. And it was perfect. I'm thankful for it, because I went running in the other metaphysical, the other real direction, the realist direction, right? And I said, whatever that shit is, I didn't have terminology for it. Not that any of these mouth sounds describe any of this, but and going in that polar opposite direction brought me in the best of people. So we can do a little bit less. We can actually be more accurate, necessary, and constructive. We can go ahead and let sarcasm, passive aggression, and the false confidence of storytelling and needing to prove yourself or whatever. Even though I'm doing a storytelling thing right now, a bad breaking. Well, anyway. Because thousands of lies were put on me, or I wouldn't be on the internet at all. Think about who, and here's another thing. There are plenty of dumbasses out there that poke the bear. If you ever see one of these dumbasses who just pokes the bear, that just clearly that this person is going to cause an incident that's going to blow back on y'all, and that is stupid to have around. I don't put up with shit. If you're starting shit, if you're responding to something, that's one thing. It matters who starts it. But if you're starting shit, that could come back on all of us. That could spiral into something. You better be really doing it for the right reason. And me and my boys, we would bring it back to the council first. Hey, you know what, man? I'm feeling like this. I'm feeling like this. What do you think? What do you think? At least one other guy first. Because shit was serious. All right. You cannot be a clear beacon while ingesting polluted inputs. Conversations, media, belief systems, group dynamics, emotional atmospheres. Constantly consuming fear, envy, gossip, victim narratives, performative outrage. Your system adapts to it whether you want it to or not. Yeah, you really do. What you magnetize yourself towards, what you practice, you become. You are what you do. How you do it, too. How, it's just the letters are switched. If you could be a ball player, but if you're a fake ass steroid shooting, lying, woman beating, fucking child beating, running a psychological abuse, as someone saying, no, don't do this to this child, please, sending you all the professionals explaining how bad it is, and they keep doing it, and they're a child molester and all this shit. They could be a ball star too, but fuck. Real-time inventory is the missing skill. Most people only reflect after damage is done. I salute a person who can make changes, constantly adapt to new environments, pushes himself or herself to do so, and doesn't need to be faced with dire consequences in order to make changes that are important. And this is how you stop self-betrayal, like I said, right there, mid-motion. While you're listening, while you're reacting, while your emotions are active, while you're speaking, run that program. Run that inventory, accountability, authenticity program. Because at first it's going to be uncomfortable, but then it's going to become clear what you're doing. And then it's going to become very freeing, and you're never going to go back. Like I started out in this video. And then after that, you'll become a beacon of light and authenticity for everyone around. And you will still need to run your maintenance software. Wait, did I just have a jealous reaction to this person? Now, that being said, you can socially responsibly start to notice, as Dr. Drew said, and I'll put the link to the video below, that narcissism went viral. And you can see that the electronics want us to go in this, that it all works together. All this fake world of social medias and performance arts and all this stuff that we're really picking up so much involvement with, we will get sick of it at some point, right? I don't think it's a forever chapter, but it's definitely a powerful one. And most of the people who have garnered big followings in it are fucking full of shit. And so to start to reasonably audit and disqualify yourself from that, and honestly, as a general rule, you need to be supporting your friend who's just starting out, not these people who are already supported by thousands of motherfuckers who you don't even know. That's authentic. All right. So if small little councils can build and start to actually support us with what many of you is unfortunately ridiculously impossible for you. You can't fucking like, support, and comment on shit. You can't do it. You're way down here. You're way down here. But if a bunch of you can do this all together as a committee and support the guys who are actually have the big broadsword and look like the fucking knight in white shining armor, or however you want to chalk, the guy on merit. If you really add more support on merit, let's just be real, all of you will rise together. And if you really do a good job on supporting on merit, then definitely all of you will rise together, right? But people can't. It's crazy. People can't. You can watch my I have gone around, I support, I like, I comment on everybody's stuff. I get so many watches. And people just, that lets you know that you're doing shit way right, way authentic, in a fake ass time. Good on you. Let's go. Who's like me? Who's like me though? For real. Let's start getting it together. Who's like me? Now that kind of council forms, and now we're real tough guys. We're real tough guys. And that storytelling thing I was telling you about, I'll put links below, and you can find out I come from a long history of groups and real tough guys. So let's go. Let's go.